Hi everyone.
My name's Brittany.
And I'm Mike.
And this is our dog Aaliyah.
And this is our 2021 Ford Transit cargo van that we spent 1 year converting into a camper van.
We have been living in our van for just over a year now. We are long overdue for a van tour, so without further ado, here it is. Inside our slider door here is our kitchen, and we closed off a lot of our slider door with our kitchen, so we added this flip-up countertop so that we could extend our counter space. We have a nice large sink and 2 faucets. This one is connected to a water filter for drinking water, and the water filter is under our cabinet down here, so we'll show you that in a minute. And then this faucet has a stream and a spray function. And this here is our built-in soap dispenser. Underneath the sink we have our fridge. This is a 75-liter 12-volt fridge by Dometic, and it's dual zone, so we have it currently set to half fridge and half freezer so that I can have ice in the morning for my coffee. It is really nice to have a freezer in here. In order to be able to fit the sink on top of the fridge, we definitely had to do some engineering, and Mike installed a waterless P-trap under the sink so that we could have as much room as possible down there, because it is pretty much an exact fit. On our kitchen wall we have some outlets and this set of light switches here. These are 3-way light switches, so we'll show you the other set over on the bed area. And these separately control our overhead lights, our under cabinet lights, and the lights over our bed. In these overhead cabinets, we keep all of our dry food and vitamins. We wanted to use every inch of space in this kitchen for storage, so we built tons of drawers to hold our silverware. This flip-up tray has our water pump switch down here. And then we just have a bunch of drawers for silverware, utensils. We have a cabinet down here that has our trash can, fire extinguisher, extra paper towels, and the water filter that I mentioned before. We love our 3-inch toe kicks that Mike built underneath the cabinets here. And then we also have toe kick drawers for a little extra storage. For cooking, underneath our countertop here, we have an oven with a 3-burner stove. We have this hook here to keep our countertop latched up while we're cooking. And this is powered by a 12-gallon propane tank that Mike bolted underneath the van. We don't use the oven too often, so we really use it for storage most of the time. And then under the oven, we also have this really big drawer that holds our espresso maker, extra pots and pans, and just some miscellaneous things like that. This drawer is really heavy, and so it has flown open while we're driving, so we did have to install a latch here. We have broken the drawer slides twice. In the back of the van, we have our bedroom, and we do sleep sideways because we wanted to conserve as much space as we could in the van. So Mike built these like quasi flares when we were doing our framing, so that we don't have flares on the outside of the van, but we built into the walls as much as we could at the head of the foot and the bed. That allows us to sleep sideways, and Mike is about 6'2", or what are you, 6'3"?
6'2.5".
So we didn't insulate these parts, and it just gives us a little extra length on the bed. Our bed is a queen width, and it's just a couple inches short of being a full queen. So we definitely miss our king size bed, but you must make sacrifices when you live in a van. Our overhead cabinets also continue all the way to the back of the van, and this is where we keep most of our clothes. Some of our clothes. We have 2 bunk windows at the head and the foot of our bed for airflow. We like to sleep really cold, so we leave these open at night, and with the max air fan, it brings in air that just creates like a really nice cross breeze. Kind of feels like you're sleeping with a fan. And then on the opposite wall, we have these bins, which we call our nightstands, and they have our like lip balms and headphones and my Kindle and all of our little like whatever we would keep in a nightstand. Oh, and we also have these reading lights. These have a 12-volt plug on the side, and then they are tapped to change different brightness. Leah loves to sit on the bed and just look out these windows and play guard dog, basically. That's like one of her favorite things to do, is just to play guard dog in the van and look out the windows out here.
We call her the Paw Patrol.
Yeah, she plays Paw Patrol. And then on the half wall back here, we have our control panel. This has controls for our heated floor, our propane heater, has our battery level monitor, our max fan remote, a set of outlets, and then it has the other set of our 3-way switches. And we have the dimmers back here, and it is so nice to be able to dim the lights or to turn them off from the bed. In addition to our Max fan, we have a Dometic RTX 2000 air conditioner. We try to travel with the weather, so we don't use it too often. We usually are fine just with our Max fan and having some windows open, but when we need it, we really do need it, so it has been really great to have. Especially over the summer, there were a few times where we were traveling in Moab and we can't take Leah on hikes in the national parks there, so it's really helpful to be able to leave her in the van and know that she's cool, and she's actually cooler than us when we're outside hiking in the middle of the summer and she's relaxing in the van in the air conditioning. Alright, and now Leah would like to show you, in front of the bed here, we have our water level gauges. This is our freshwater tank. We have 40 gallons of fresh water underneath the bed. This is our gray water tank, and then this here is a vent for our propane heater. This opening right here is the way into the garage. We really just use this to keep our dirty laundry bag. So that's what that is. Definitely in a van build, that's something you have to think about, is where are you going to keep your trash and where are you going to keep your dirty laundry. Alright, coming back toward the cab, on the driver's side we have our closet. We do have some hanging clothes in here, and then we have 3 drawers that have the rest of our clothes. And then we do have these 3 plastic funhouse mirror, pieces of mirror glued to the door. These mirrors are not to be trusted. They are funhouse mirrors for sure. Hi! She just started doing this. After the closet, next up is our bathroom. We do have a shower in here and we have a water heater in our garage, so we can take hot showers. To be honest, we usually just shower at the gym, which is why we have a lot of storage hooks in here, because we mostly use this for storage and for our toilet. We do have a composting toilet. It's a Nature's Head composting toilet, and I couldn't imagine van life without it. Even though we don't use the shower too often, we would still build this shower room again because we really like having an enclosed room for the toilet. And we do have this Nautilus shower door that we can use to close off the room. We do have a really nice shower pan in here. Mike custom built this shower pan out of wood, waterproofed it, and then my dad taught him how to tile it. So we do have a really nice waterproof tiled shower pan for when we do use our shower. Moving further toward the driver's seat, we built this permanent bench seat. Mike framed the back so that we could lean the bench back into the wall. I wish I could say I made these cushions myself. We had them made and it was very expensive. So if you can make them yourself, I definitely recommend doing that. Also, this bench is too tall for me to comfortably rest my feet on the ground once we put the cushions on. We were worried that that would happen, and so we specifically tried to build the bench at a height that I would be able to touch the ground, but it just still didn't work out. So be mindful of that if you are building a van. Make your bench even shorter than you think. We have storage under the bench on this side for our shoes, and then we have this pull-out drawer here that has storage underneath, and it also doubles as an ottoman. And then above the bench we have more storage cabinets. In these we keep things like our toiletries. We have a basket for Leah, our camera, and just other miscellaneous things that we gotta put somewhere. And finally, we have a Lagun table mount, and we built this table. This is primarily my work desk and our dinner table, so it's really nice that it swivels. We can adjust the height, and we can also use it with our swivel chairs. Sometimes I do work from the passenger seat. Honestly, the passenger seat in the van is more comfortable than the bench a lot of the time. So it's really nice that we can move this table around and use it. We can seat 4 people at this configuration. Now above my head here, you can see Mike built this headliner shelf where we keep even more clothes. This is where we keep a lot of our sweaters and things like that, things that are soft but take up a lot of space because sometimes they do fall out while we're driving. When we ordered our van, we didn't opt for the factory storage shelf because we figured, well, we were just going to build our own headliner shelf, but it turns out that the headliner shelf kits that you can buy to build your own, they're actually modeled off of having the factory shelf in there. So because of that, we couldn't use a kit to build this, and Mike had to basically build it from scratch. Alright, so that's it for the interior of the van, and now Mike is going to show you around the exterior and our garage.
And welcome to the best feature, our backyard. Welcome to our garage. As you can tell, we use it for a lot of storage. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this all cleared out and give you a look at our electrical system.
Hi, Leah. Leah, do you want to talk about the electrical system?
Okay, so all of our electrical components are on the passenger side of the van. I have 500 amp hours of battle-borne batteries with a 3000 watt Victron inverter charger. We have the Victron solar MPPT as well as the Victron Lynx distributor. Additionally, we have 400 watts of solar on the roof, and altogether we have a pretty beefy system for everything that we do. We need to have internet basically everywhere that we go because Brittany works full-time on the road. So having this system allows us to use our Starlink all day long, allows Brittany to have her laptop plugged in a lot of the time, and it basically can handle anything that we throw at it. I did do the entire electrical myself, which I'm pretty proud of. But I followed along with Explorus Life very closely for that stuff, so if you're looking for any tips on electrical, Explorus Life is your man. So we do have 3 ways to charge our batteries. Option number 1 is via the 400 watts of solar on the roof. Option number 2 is the shore power plug, which is on the passenger side of the van here. And option number 3 is to charge while we drive. We have a lithium BIM. It works pretty great. It's really fast charging. The Battery Isolation Manager takes power from the alternator while you drive and charges the batteries. If you have a battery-to-battery charger, like the typical charging system that you have when you drive, usually I think you get like 30 amps of power when you do that. But with BIM, sometimes we're getting as much as 120 amps, which is pretty crazy, but usually that's a pretty short spurt and then it'll get down to about 70 amps, but still charges about twice as fast. And then on the driver's side, we have 40 gallons of fresh water, and above that we have our water pump and our accumulator, which goes back to our water heater and onto the shower and the sink. And then over here we have our water fill. It is a gravity fill, but I do have a connection that I can clip to it so that I can hook a hose up to it and it doesn't fall off or anything like that, which is pretty nice. And then over here we have a GFCI 120 volt outlet, as well as a 12 volt plug style outlet. This is the only plug style outlet that we have in the van. It allows us to plug in our Jackery or like an inflatable pump or anything like that that we want to use on the road. And then right down here we have our spare tire release, which we actually covered up when we were building the subfloor and had to come back through and drill in a hole so we can get to it. Just full of sand. And this is a marine port inspection cover, found it on Amazon, stainless steel, so it was a little pricey, but it does look really nice, and I don't have to worry about it breaking when we take stuff in and out of here. A lot of them are plastic. So moving to the driver's side of the van, you can see we have a inflatable inner tube mount for Brittany's pink donut inner tube. It was expensive, but it is totally worth it. So our ladder and our roof rack come from Flatline Vanco. It was one of the more affordable options, but also a pretty quality option, so we're pretty happy with that. At the top of the ladder here, we have our Starlink, and we had to purchase this little extra mount that mounts to the top of the ladder. We can keep it on the roof and kind of keep it off the ground, keep it up high when we're in public or something like that in a parking lot, or when we're leaving it out overnight. We don't have to worry about it being on the ground and, you know, a moose stepping on it. You never know. And as I mentioned earlier, we have our 200 watt Renogy solar panels mounted to the roof in the back, and towards the front we have our Max Tracks. Eventually we would love to build a deck on the roof. We just haven't got around to it yet. As Britt mentioned before, we have a 12-gallon propane tank located underneath the van, and right down here we have our remote fill for said propane tank. And the main bonus of having the remote fill located here is that no one has to crawl under the van to fill the tanks. In just over a year of van life, we've only had to fill the propane tank twice, once when we started and once after about 8 months. So we get a pretty good long use out of one full tank. All right, we hope you enjoyed our van tour.
We did document our entire build on YouTube, so if you are building your own van, you can refer to those videos. If you have any questions about our build, let us know in the comments below. And thanks so much for watching.
Bye guys.
Say bye everybody.